Rockstar Games is utilizing this generation-defining launch to trap players in a brutal survival simulation. A lot of you aggressively claimed in my last video that this feature is just fake, unconfirmed rumors, but the official Netflix extended look teaser just exposed a terrifying reality frame. If you freeze the background assets behind Jason and Lucia, you can clearly witness an actual automated refueling scene running on a civilian vehicle grid. Even the original trailer one prominently features extreme gas station explosions during localized gang warfare, raising a massive open-loop question. Is Grand Theft Auto completely removing its arcade identity to force extreme stress mechanics onto the community? Some rumors even claim the entire story mode will ignite right here, mimicking how San Andreas forced your first haircut before a pizza shop robbery. Industry insiders are speculating that the game's official starting prologue will be a high-stakes gas station robbery mission where Jason and Lucia pull off their first chaotic stick-up together, crossing paths for the very first time before any major narrative loops even unlock. Will this initial mutual gas station heist be the baseline ignition for the entire story network? Or is Rockstar setting up a nightmare scenario that will completely bankrupt your playthrough files? Because here's the real breakdown of why this new fuel system will create a total gameplay disaster. Imagine executing a multi-million-dollar heist with elite tactical units aggressively locking down every major highway intersection. Right when you hit maximum velocity, your hypercar engine dynamically stalls out because your fuel bars hit absolute zero. But here's the most terrifying, unfair twist that sounds completely impossible. What if this brutal consumption grid is completely biased? In every past Grand Theft Auto, if an NPC shoots you in public, the police AI stands completely brain dead, but the millisecond you throw a single punch, a 3-star wanted loop triggers. If this broken layout applies to the new fuel files, it means your vehicle assets will drain dynamically, while elite cop cruisers and heavy armored trucks will enjoy infinite fuel capacities with zero operational depth. Hardcore purists claim this bias will enforce tactical tension, but casual players are already screaming that fighting endless police fleets while babysitting a draining gas tank is a complete mechanical scam. And the survival nightmare scales even deeper when you leave the city grid to explore the massive outer state boundaries. Leonida features the largest map layout in gaming history, filled with dense, dark, rural Everglades and abandoned swamp tracking zones. We have already exposed that driving across this colossal state framework takes over 45 minutes of continuous real-world time. Imagine running out of gas in the middle of these isolated wilderness sectors with zero backup transport. There is no instant vehicle spawn button. If you hit absolute zero in the outback, you will be forced to physically abandon your multi-million-dollar customized supercars and pedal walk across endless empty roads for real-world hours just to find a functional gas pump, making casual exploration an absolute nightmare loop. And after finding one, what if you have to wait in long queues at gas stations? But the absolute worst part about this vehicle tracking mechanic isn't just the physical stress, it's how it is designed to aggressively drain your actual money balance. Just like health kits and custom weapons, you will have to pay your hard-earned cash registers to refuel your car assets at local pumps. But here's the real financial nightmare that sounds like a corporate scam. Leaks reveal that Leonida features dynamic inflation algorithms where gas prices can surge unpredictably across different city territories. If you are constantly grinding street events or executing luxury vehicle setups, a massive portion of your operational money will vanish just to keep your tanks full. Hardcore critics are raising massive red flags, claiming this constant taxation is a calculated trap by Rockstar Games to push microtransactions, forcing your in-game balances to absolute zero so you are aggressively compelled to purchase real-world shark cards like GTA 5 just to maintain your luxury supercar fleets. And the territorial depth grid goes even wilder, because you won't be the only one fighting for control over these fuel stations. Vice City's underground landscape is strictly divided by aggressive cartel networks and street factions. Rumors claim that since fuel is the ultimate resource, specialized gas gangs will actively operate around these stations. This opens a massive competitive question. Will we witness dynamic, real-time gang wars ignite right at the pumps while you are trying to refuel your vehicle? Imagine pulling up to a station only to get trapped in a crossfire between rival cartels defending their territory, forcing you into an immediate maximum wanted star shootout loop. However, we have to look at the absolute other side of this historic debate, because hardcore simulation purists are violently defending this entire architectural depth with extreme arguments. They claim that the real entertainment value in Grand Theft Auto has always been about extreme ground-level immersion. and Rockstar has been subtly building toward this for decades. Look at Red Dead Redemption 2. When Rockstar forced us to manually feed horses, clean weapon mechanics, and dress for real-time weather conditions, casual arcade players called it a total disaster, but it ultimately turned the game into an undisputed masterpiece. Even games like Mafia handled vehicle refueling perfectly, proving that adding strict difficulty variables actually makes the open world feel alive. Realism defenders argue that a fuel system completely changes how you respect the open world, turning vehicles from disposable trash files into highly valued assets. In previous GTA games, cars had zero weight. You stole a supercar, trashed it in 10 seconds, and immediately hijacked another with zero consequence. By introducing a strict refueling layer, Rockstar forces you to actually care about your customized machinery, check your dashboard cluster telemetry, and treat the vehicle as a direct extension of Jason and Lucia's survival gear. Hardcore fans argue that this system adds an unparalleled layer of tactical tension to the gameplay engine. Imagine checking your physical dashboard fuel gauge files before hitting a major cartel heist, calculating exact consumption values based on your engine revs, and mapping out highly strategic getaway routes to ensure you pass by safe refueling zones. Furthermore, leaked source files suggest this physics layer is way deeper than just a simple progress bar. Purists are speculating about dynamic vehicle damage physics, meaning if a rival gangster shoots your fuel tank during a drive-by, it will trigger an actual real-time fuel leakage file that drains your tank dynamically on the highway, forcing an emergency engine stall. To counter this, custom mod shops will reportedly offer high-tier armored tank configurations and high-performance fuel efficiency engine tuning loops. Simulation geeks are even celebrating that, just like real estate properties, gas stations will feature full in-game functional business economies, allowing you to buy these hubs as underground front businesses, manage fuel logistics files, hijack rival supply tankers, and generate massive passive income grids. Hardcore fans are screaming that this level of simulation depth will make GTA 6 the greatest gaming masterpiece in human history. But while the entire internet is fiercely attacking each other over whether cars should have realistic gas tanks, everyone is completely ignoring a massive, terrifying algorithmic loophole that sounds completely broken. If cars and muscle trucks are locked behind a strict, unforgiving real-time fuel consumption file, then what happens to the entire global air and sea transit grids when you leave the ground? Leonida features massive deep-water ocean borders and restricted military airspace zones where specialized helicopters, speedboats, and fighter jets are your only tactical options. Think about the absolute mechanical horror if you are executing a high-stakes aerial smuggling run or navigating a heavy cargo helicopter during an intense multi-stage mission, and your engine fuel warning dynamically starts flashing red over the deep ocean. Where exactly are you supposed to land a multi-million-dollar military jet to refuel? Are there going to be functional private runways with specialized fuel grids scattered across the remote islands? Or is Rockstar setting up an impossible scenario where running out of gas midair triggers an automatic instant death loop and critical mission failure? If aircraft refueling files don't exist, it means the entire system is strictly limited to ground vehicles, destroying the game's overall realism consistency. But if it does apply to airplanes and marine speedboats, it completely changes how aggressively you have to budget your operational cash balances. Hardcore simulation fans argue that this air and sea barrier is the perfect opportunity for Rockstar to introduce a massive, dangerous underground feature, gas station extortion, and highway robbery grids. Since fuel is the single most valuable asset in the entire Leonida economy, local gas stations won't just be passive transaction points, they will become prime criminal targets. Leaks speculate that instead of constantly draining your own wallet files, players can actually operate as an armed extortion team. Imagine pulling up to a busy highway pump with Jason and Lucia, holding the station owner at gunpoint and physically looting the entire cash register grids while rival civilian drivers panic and scatter in full real-time velocity. You could literally hijack heavy fuel tankers on the interstate, smuggle the raw petroleum assets back to your private safehouse yards, or sell them to underground cartel bosses for insane black market payouts. This means gas stations could become the single best location to grind illegal passive money early in the game. You could constantly ambush rival gangs attempting to refuel their luxury sports cars, turning every single gas station trip into a chaotic, high-stakes battleground. But when you calculate the extreme balance of all these dynamic parameters, a dangerous reality layer hits the surface. At what exact point does extreme simulation completely crush the real entertainment and fun factor of an arcade sandbox? We play Grand Theft Auto to completely escape reality, execute impossible criminal heists, and cause massive structural chaos that is completely forbidden in real life. If every single block requires a strict tactical calculation, a mandatory refueling stop, or a punishing vehicle breakdown check, the entry barrier becomes too exhausting for new players who just want to unwind after a long day. Yet hardcore purists violently counter-argue that the gaming industry is filled with lazy, unchallenging arcade loops, and GTA 6 needs to be a brutal, punishing masterpiece that demands absolute respect from real gamers. So which exact side of this historic launch debate are you actually on? Is this dynamic fuel and vehicle maintenance infrastructure a pure revolutionary masterpiece? Or is Rockstar Games officially turning the greatest open world in human history into a total stress nightmare? Let me know your survival strategies for this situation and exact technical opinions in the comments below. I will reply everyone and pin best comment and shout out in next video. Like and subscribe to Kim Jong GTA 6 channel. See you in next video. Thank you for watching.